Hey homies, Hugh Fragment here. Welcome to another fragrance review video. This is my very first video in my new apartment. As you can see, there's literally nothing in here. I'm still settling in, guys. I don't even have a bed frame. I'm literally sleeping on a futon mattress on the floor back there. That'll change this week, but this is just temporary. I promise it'll look better over time. My whole fragrance setup that I had going on behind me, it's moved to the living room. There's actually a bunch of shelves that are built into the wall, and I just stuffed like 250 fragrances in there. My roommate freaked out when he saw how many there were. So maybe one day I'll show y'all a little video of that so y'all can see the new setup. They're a little organized. It's a little nice. But yeah, anyways, please bear with the terrible background. My door doesn't close that well, so I'm still working on that. But anyway, let's get into this review video. If you like these kind of videos, remember to like and subscribe. And today we're doing another Parfums De Marly review. We're actually going to be talking about Greenley, which I've had for a few months now, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It's definitely in the same vein as Sedley, and since I bring that up, you're probably asking me, Hugh, like, would you rather choose Greenley or Sedley, blah, blah, blah. Well, if it's not obvious, I really like Greenley, and it's really because they're different fragrances. They're both spring, summer freshies. The Sedley has this musky base going on with the freshness on top. That's very different than Greenley, which, for me at least, it's very fresh the entire way through. It's not super like woody or musky. Sedley does dry down to be kind of woody and musky, and I do love that one a lot. I've sampled it a bunch of times. It's on my radar. It's something I'm curious about trying. Maybe buying one day if I can get it cheap. But yeah, I went with Greenley, and it's great. I love it. As with all the other Parfums De Marly fragrances, the presentation is beautiful. I love that I can actually see what's in the bottle, which a lot of their other fragrances, they don't give me the opportunity to. So that's welcome change. Like I've said, I wish they would do this for all of them. And side note, since I was talking about the apartment, it is really hard to move fragrances. Yeah, if y'all have a bunch of fragrances and y'all moved before, please tell me how y'all did it, because I kind of just stuffed them in a box, like wrapped with newspaper and stuff like that to keep them from breaking them. I didn't keep any of the boxes. I didn't feel like putting them in each individual box would have taken forever. So anyway, let's go into this. We're going to talk about the notes real quick. So we have, and these are Fragranticus that might be a little off. We have top notes of green apple, Calabrian bergamot, and mandarin orange. I said that wrong. Middle notes of petitgrain, cashmeran, cedar, pomerose, and violet. Base notes of oak moss, musk, and amberwood. So I don't really know some of those notes on how they really come across, like the cashmere and petitgrain, and the pomerose displayed as like a freaking molecule on Fragrantica. But I can speak on that apple. That apple is great. It's actually different than the apple that's in Leighton. Leighton's apple is like a sweet apple, a sweet, smooth, sexy apple that kind of lasts throughout the entire fragrances. That's what Leighton is famous for. This one is a fresh apple, and I don't know if you've ever had green apples. Green apples are actually, they're sour. They're not really sweet. So this isn't sour per se, but it's more of that fresh edge to it, like a fresh metallic edge to it that I love. It's been compared to like Irish Spring, or like those Irish Spring like bricks of soap that you buy from the grocery store. I kind of see where they're going with that, but I would say imagine that, but like a million times more expensive and high quality, and you get something like this, which this is a fresh, everyday scent. I don't think anybody will be offended by it, but for it being very fresh, it is strong. This is not a light fragrance at all. It really does project off my skin, which is nice. That's pretty much every Parfums De Marly fragrance for me does that. Even Leighton's considered to be one of the weaker ones. That one really pushes off my skin. I love it. This one is just great. Fresh, green apple, sexy scent. Did I say sexy? Kind of sexy. I wouldn't call this the sexiest scent I have, especially fresh scent wise, but it's definitely there. It's fresh the entire way through. Can't go wrong with it. It's not going to offend anybody. So if you're looking for something more high quality fresh, definitely try this one out. I think you actually might be surprised. You just might be surprised by it. It's, freshies are really hard to pull the trigger on, especially when they're this expensive, because they're not usually as complex, I'd say, as other fragrances. But I've never smelled anything like this, besides obviously the Irish Spring comparisons, which are valid, but this goes deeper than that. Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Just a quick, straight to the point review. Like I said, longevity is great. Um, Projects off my skin well, 8, 9, 10 hours easy. Definitely check this one out if you're in like a Nordstrom or an Neiman Marcus. You cannot go wrong. And yeah, that's my review of Parfums De Marly Greenley. Sorry for not going too in depth on the notes. These notes are definitely weird for me. Obviously, with the oak moss and violet leaf and stuff are there, but it's blended so well. I can kind of just describe. I can only just describe what I get off the top of my nose, which is green apple fresh, and that's pretty much the easiest way to describe this one. So, yeah, that'll be the end of this video. Hugh Fragment out.